we're inconsistent and self-sabotaging and procrastinating. But maybe it's not just that. Maybe there's something else lying underneath. It could be like a kind of self-protection, right? It means that our nervous system doesn't feel safe enough yet and that our body just resists. Challenge could be that you don't need more knowledge, you don't need more information, more strategy. You just need a way to actually bring that knowledge that you have already accumulated in yourself to actually use it and bring it into life, right?
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that we all know more than we think we do. It might feel like an emergency, but what's happening is I'm experiencing the pain of growth, and that's okay. You want to do this thing?
Not today.
Not today?
It's our first time, so hopefully we don't have
It's our
to
first
do
time.
it over and
We-
over again, right?
We could make that a tradition, though. Yeah.
No, 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 no,
What-
no.
what? No, I don't
No.
mean doing it over and over.
No,
I don't want to make that a tradition.
no,
Listen to you. No, please.
no.
Trying on a different set of beliefs can send you spiraling. That's not easy to say. Welcome back to Heart Centered and Headstrong. We are here today talking about embodiment. And it's something we touched on briefly in the previous episode about the collective that we'll soon be launching. Why are we talking about embodiment? It doesn't help to know a lot of things if you don't actually apply that knowledge. And that's where your real power is. What is embodiment? It is exactly that. It is applying, using what you know, what you've learned. And we're in an age where you can learn anything about anything. Go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere, blog posts, podcasts. You can learn anything. And so it can be like this overwhelming flood of content. It can be just something you're inundated with constantly. And yet, if you're not actually finding that information useful in real life, what value does it really have? And so that's one aspect of embodiment. And then what does it look like when you're not actually embodying something that you know, something that you've learned? How does that show up? How do you show up? It comes to if you have a business, what does it look like if you're not embodying what you're trying to offer your customer, your client? These are the things we're going to be talking about today, my friend, right?
Yeah,
Um,
great.
yeah. This again is why we have the vision and why we decided to launch the collective, because we wanted to give you a place where not only are you learning, but you're not learning for information's sake. You can practice what you're learning. You can try different approaches. If you have a business, you can role play, all these different things to help you embody what you're learning in our safe space called the collective. So,
Yeah, because we believe that embodiment could be actually the missing piece when you find yourself like struggling with bringing your ideas and your desires into life and to make them come true, right?
yeah.
So, as you said, the challenge could be that you don't need more knowledge, you don't need more information, more strategy. You just need a way to actually bring that knowledge that you have already accumulated in yourself to actually use it and bring it into life, right?
Yeah. And I think it's safe to say that we all know more than we think we do because we've absorbed so much information, just
Mm.
living our daily life. Even overhearing something in your subconscious, that's now stored information. So what do you do with all
And
this?
when you asked before what actually is embodiment, I think it's the thing that we admire in people that we follow as models for ourselves, right? Um, because they act naturally, like nothing big is happening. We have that feeling that they can do whatever it takes to do, I mean, let's say in their life or in their business. They just do it with ease, with consistency, without hesitation. They are present, trustworthy, and actually, another thing is that their words land, right? We are driven to listen to them, to follow them, to come back again to them. It's something mm, underneath their words that's happening.
That's interesting. So it sounds to me like we could say that authenticity and embodiment go together. Because
Absolutely.
when you embody something, you actually believe. When you practice what you preach,
Yeah, yeah.
that comes through.
That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you speak from yourself, not from a script, not from your mind, but from who you are, what you believe, what you stand for. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, and this again, I think goes back to our was it the first episode we did or the debut episode we did about AI and how, AI can do a lot of good things, but it cannot display embodiment because of authenticity. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
soul. So it misses that. It can give you a ton of knowledge, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're watching someone, a person, a soul, put these things into action and you're seeing an authentic person, that's a whole other level of embodiment.
Yeah, it's actually the energy that a speaker or the person has, right? It's about um, that you feel that the person is not performing. You feel that she's speaking from inside,
Yeah.
from who they are.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I can feel it pretty
Yeah,
quick when someone's
yeah.
not. I could see it in myself too. I don't look
Mm,
like was a lot underneath that. Not that I was disingenuous, but I wasn't fully living into what I was saying. Like
mm,
you said not too long ago, you don't believe in what it is you're offering. You don't believe in yourself. That's going to show as well.
mhm,
People will feel that. The more intuitive types like me will feel that, um, and it can get in the way. It can hurt you. So
mm.
embodiment is so important for more than one reason.
I think that was actually my case because that was my story with the embodiment, and maybe still is. I'm still not totally over it. Yeah, I struggled with making an offer for a long time because I wasn't quite sure what I was selling. It was some kind of belief that I can only offer myself when I'm 100% sure that I will not disappoint someone. When I was coming from this belief, I was very uncertain, and that showed up. I mean, and it had a lot of consequences. Wasn't authentic, even if I pushed myself to create some content and try to talk about my work and put myself out there, nothing worked. I wasn't able to make a contact. I didn't get many responses. I didn't get clients. I didn't get paid. And I was like spinning in circles, right? I was blaming myself that I'm not doing the right thing, that I'm not consistent, that I don't know how to do it, and I'm not good enough. I'll never learn that. And then I felt shame and embarrassment because I was doing that for long with no results. And I was spinning and spinning in that for as long as I didn't actually claim my value and started practicing showing up, being visible when I'm not prepared, when I'm even if it was or maybe still is like now. It wasn't perfect, isn't it's not perfect, but yeah, I do it anyway. I do it over and over again, and I survive that what's not quite well and move forward. That's the way I deal still and still embody those things. That's my story.
That's your story, and you're sticking to it. That's a it's a fairly old song now. No, I love your story, and I think so many people can relate to that. Again, especially when it comes to business. So you might have a different opinion, and that's totally fine. But I don't see it as an all or nothing. In other words, there are aspects of your business maybe you're not embodying, or I'm not embodying something that I have learned, something that I coach around, something that I teach. But then there are also areas in my personal life that I do. And it may not come out in like the visibility side, the marketing side,
Hmm.
but I know for me, I have been through multiple dark nights of the soul, as they say, where everything got dredged up in my personal life, where I had to look at it, I had to sort through it and heal from some things before I really could bring that into my coaching. And because of that, maybe I did feel at times that it wasn't time to really put this piece out there for fear of feeling like someone that's not living what they're teaching. And yet at the same time, I don't know who said it. I'd credit them if I did, but someone at some point I heard them say that we teach what we need to learn. And I've
Yeah.
also found that to be true.
Mm.
Um, I
That's
had,
a good one. Mm.
and so that got me thinking in a whole other direction, where I've been strictly referral based and now I'm, you know, launching out into the deep, as we say, knowing who to talk to. Who am I talking to? The last version of myself. And so who
Mm.
was I? I was someone that constantly needed to vent my frustrations, my difficulties. I was someone who was angry a lot, um, because I just did not have a handle on my own boundaries and emotions. I'm not that person now. Do I have days where I'm like up to sure, we all do, right? But
Yeah,
you know
sure.
how to bring yourself back. You
Yeah.
know how to regulate. You know how to find your way through that. And hopefully you have support. So just the embodiment is we're talking about it on both levels today, not
Mm.
just in the context of being a business owner and putting your message out there. That's good and that's important, but embodiment is first about who you are just as a human.
Yeah.
What do you believe? Because what you believe, your values, they show up, they will show up in your business, whether you want them to or not. So it's really important to make sure that you're aware of what they are.
Yeah, because those um, underlying beliefs, they influence your life in general, right?
Yeah.
Those are some kinds of very old things that are loaded somewhere, and you even don't know that you have them. You
Mm.
actually have to discover them first. When you discover them and slowly go through them, then only you can move forward and do things differently. And of course, if you have things in your personal life, that reflects also in your business life.
Yeah, for better or worse, it will.
Yeah, for better
And
and
it
worse.
but at the same time too, it's not like you have to have everything figured out to do what you wanna do either. You don't have to be I had another coach tell me that one time. Thankfully, she said to me, "We don't have to have it all together to be a coach." Like, yeah, that's the truth. There's
Right?
a what I keep hearing right now is there is a trust recession. It's this authenticity piece, it's this embodiment piece that I think the collective as a whole, not our collective, but people everywhere as a whole are just more sensitive to what is real and what is not. I forget why I went there, but there you go. There's a trust recession.
Maybe sometimes we call ourselves like that we're inconsistent and self-sabotaging and procrastinating, but maybe it's not just that. Maybe there's something else lying underneath. It could be like a kind of self-protection, right? It means that our nervous system doesn't feel safe enough yet and that our body just resists.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the case a lot of the times and well, I think we touched on that recently too, where that survival mechanism
Yeah.
is it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's there to serve you.
Yeah.
It's it has literally protected you from actual harm for however long you've been alive. Trying on a different set of beliefs can send you spiraling. That's not easy to say. I I have to have at least one blooper in each episode no matter what I do, right? Because when you know that, you know to expect that, you know what to do about it.
Mm.
And you spoke to that in one of the episodes. Maybe you could refresh our memories.
Oh, that one that it's better to stay in the cave.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stay in the cage, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't go out. It's dangerous.
Yes, that's right. You might get
Yeah,
exposed or you will be that's guaranteed.
yeah. It's danger, it's judgment, it's loss of belonging. Actually requires from you to evolve, to actually upgrade your identity. It's not staying the same anymore, right? It's
Yeah.
becoming the next version. And that could be scary too.
If you're feeling that at all, anybody listening, and believe me, I know what it's like. Um, Instead of thinking of that survival mechanism as a bad thing, learn to appreciate it for what it is. Like I said, it has protected you
Mm,
in other circumstances where it legitimately needed to, and it will again. But it also can be trained to
mm,
understand that, this isn't the moment where you need to protect me. You know, thank
yeah.
you for what you've done and what you'll do
Mm, mm,
should I need you in an actual emergency. But right now, it might feel like an emergency. But what's
mm,
happening is I'm experiencing the pain of growth, and that's okay.
mm,
Doesn't mean it's not painful, doesn't mean it's not scary sometimes. But on the other side of most anything scary or difficult
mm.
is a beautiful new version of you.
That is that's why
Don't yell at me.
that's why it's so important to stay with those feelings and accept them and go through them, that you come to that other side, as you mentioned. That's so worth doing. And this embodiment really asks from repetition, to build this feeling of safety, to practice, to build this capacity, actually, as you talked in the previous episode, building that muscle, this to bear those things. it requires you to be willing to stay with this discomfort, right? Uh, for as long as it takes that you embody everything that you.
Yeah, and it will be a struggle. And I had a mentor tell me that once. Struggle is growth. You
Yeah,
think of the caterpillar that's, in the cocoon, what happens before it emerges? It's struggling, but what emerges is beautiful. And
yeah.
it's the same, should be, can be the same within our work. We try to keep things light and funny and all that because it can be it can be heavy, it can be a struggle. Or the fact that we, poke fun at some things and whatever is not because we don't believe it. This is our life's work, quite
We need
literally.
to learn to actually be comfortable to stay with those feelings and allow that sometimes we're being judged and sometimes we disappoint someone because we set the boundaries and stuff like that, right?
But I just saw something, I think it was on LinkedIn, it was an article about some recent research they did about when you have a strong feeling, whatever the feeling is, that the research says if you sit with that feeling for 90 seconds, it will actually help whatever the feeling is.
Mm,
Don't run from it.
yeah.
Don't numb it. Don't distract yourself from it.
Mhm.
Sit with it for 90 seconds. And what I do when I have something like that happen, I'll just use grief as an example. I think of grief like clouds. They're there, and I'm just going to let them pass. Because as we all
Mhm.
know, grief isn't something that leaves, it's there for life. So I recognize what it is. I don't panic. I let it go by, and then it goes by. And then next, right? And it's the same thing with when you're going through some sort of inner work struggle. It's so easy to want to just shut down, run the other way, distract yourself, numb yourself. But if you allow it to pass over you, sit with it for 90 seconds, you'll actually feel better. Might end up being more than 90 seconds in real life, but that's what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
research says.
And in some times it will stop coming back to you, right?
The strong feeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't repeat itself
Yeah,
anymore.
it's kind of like an immune response.
Mm,
Your nervous system is like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay, I've seen this before. I
yeah,
know what
that.
to do."
Mm-hmm.
And what
That's
are
right.
some of the other things that you think, help with embodiment?
As we said before, like practice, coaching, support, also maybe that honest self observation, and as you said, sitting with feelings, feeling, allow those feelings, maybe slowing down
Slowing
that.
down is a big one for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In our fast-paced, overindulgent society, which we've talked
Mm-hmm.
about many times, it's so noisy, especially if you're a sensitive soul, it's just too noisy. So
Mm-hmm.
slowing down, unplugging, tuning into yourself, your intuition,
Yeah.
um, will help you instead of taking the easy way out, which is running.
Yeah.
And I've done both, by the way. I know
Me
what
too.
both
Me
those
too.
things are. So, but that's another reason why what we're building, you can be sure is a safe space because we've been on both sides of that.
Because this embodiment piece takes time, but oftentimes it's the missing piece that keeps you stuck in the that transformation doesn't happen when you're just learning. It happens when you practice. And we wanted to create this space for practicing. Also having the support of right people
Yeah.
and where you actually can feel safe to um express yourself, to be who you are, actually a safe place to fail.
Yeah, well said. I can't help but think that one thing that contributes to mindset and the nervous system health and everything else is health itself. And so be mindful of what you're taking in. There are certain additives that are literal neurotoxins that will mess with your ability to want to sit with something, a strong feeling. That is definitely something that I think a lot of people deal with and they're not even aware of it. Everything we put in our body is either helping or hurting us physically, and our nervous system is part of that process, right? So
Mhm.
your mind, your nervous system, your muscles, everything is either being fed or potentially harmed by what you're taking in. It's just be mindful. Maybe you're someone that needs to ease off on the caffeine because you feel anxious. And so what do you think's gonna happen if you're sitting with a mentor or a coach or just somebody who loves you and wants to tell you the truth and you're jacked on caffeine? How do you think you'll respond? Right. My health crisis, as you know, if you follow me or have heard my story anywhere, my health crisis is what started this journey into personal development and inner work. So that's why for me, even in my coaching, that comes up. Not to say I'm a health coach, I'm not, but I'm looking at the whole person. Like, what is contributing to this frame of mind that's keeping you stuck? Maybe it's something as simple as something that you're consuming.
Yeah, you have this more holistic approach, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I said, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is mainly what we had for today. But for now, thank you for joining us, and of course, warmly invited to join inside the collective. Um, During the summer weeks, summer months, you can join us like a founding member and log the price for as long as you stay. And we're gonna get in touch and discuss where you are at your journey. And we would love you to help us shape this community and prepare us for September when we launch the collective for real. So thank you for today.
Yeah, we'll join you again soon.